Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Successful Marketing Summit, where we have gathered some of the best and brightest minds today when it comes to marketing. My name is Mats David Awesome Goldberg, and I'm delighted to be speaking to Christian Bagge. Christian Bagge, you've been running several companies, production companies, as well as worked with some of the biggest companies in Sweden, like Hennes & Mauritz, Telia, Skanska, and so on. And he's also taught about strategic use of film to students at Bagge School of Communication, at the Media Institute, among other places. He is considered by many people one of the leading figures in Sweden within strategic communications through motion pictures, focusing on business value. Today, he runs the company Cloudreel as an online tool for companies that wants to produce their own films. And apart from that, he also does extensive lectures all around the country throughout his consulting company. I want to welcome you, Christian, to this summit.
Thank you for those kind words.
Yeah, you're welcome. So tell me now, Christian, your focus, film. How did this all come to be? How did you become this movie nerd?
Well, actually, I started up as a naval officer in the beginning, but I didn't really like the hierarchy of the business in the military. I thought it was a little bit too tough for me.
Okay.
So I actually went skiing for a while in South America and then up in Åre in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
And I start to work with the action sports in general, and start to do some video editing with skiing and mountain biking and so on back in the 90s. So we were among the first ones to put up a web TV with commercial ahead and everything.
Okay.
So I started up a company in Spain actually. I moved back to Sweden when I realized that they had a modem. So I just heard someone looking at our videos, and I had to. that was your problem, and I realized that I need to go back to Sweden.
Okay.
So I moved back to Sweden, and I started up a production company and started to work with a real business, if you say so.
Okay. And you've been doing this for like 20 years now, right?
Yeah, it's moving on. So it's been like 20 years now.
Awesome.
I started up with this production company that I had for about 13 years. And then I had 2-3 other production companies.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm moving ahead a little bit, trying to join the evolution.
Okay. Interesting. And as I introduced you, you do a lot of lectures for different media schools and stuff like that. What do you teach them? What are the topics that you usually talk about when you meet these classes?
Yeah, it's been quite a big step from with video the last 5 years, I'd say, in general in the world. And it's most because of the mobile phones, the introduction of the mobile phones, and the video on the phones is getting really, really good.
Yeah.
And the use, I think it's so many numbers, but I think 80% of all the content on the internet is 80% is online video. So
Okay.
80% online video on the whole internet. And they say that the mind absorbs a video content 50,000 times more efficient than written text.
Okay, so no more blogs now.
No,
only video. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, only video. No, but that means, and they did another survey of internal communication, and they said that less than 2% of the content in the internal communication is video.
Wow.
So that means we can help companies to decrease the amount of emails we send, and the amount of time you sit in front of the computer and try to absorb all the information that needs to be communicated.
Yeah.
If you have a strategic plan for your communication and use video, you can do it much more efficiently. And so that means that the employees can work less time
Yeah.
with just gathering the data, and instead work with their core business. So what I do most of the time now is helping companies and students to understand the whole picture of how you can create more value for the company with focusing on a strategic content and using video as an effective tool for that.
That's awesome. I mean, just when you said that about like written word compared to video, I think back to the time when I was dating. You know, when you text everyone and it takes like 2 weeks, well, you could actually say within 30 minutes if you had met the person. So I really understand that part. Like with video, you can transcend the message that you really want to have said instead of just sending emails back and forth and just drowning people in information that you don't really need to send. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you? I'm thinking here, like, what would you say are some bad recommendations that people have like given throughout the years when it comes to video production and companies doing videos themselves compared to hiring a very expensive production company?
Yeah, it's quite a hard question to answer in an easy way, but I think the general thing is that you need to understand your target group.
Yeah.
And you need to focus on the purpose of what you want to communicate. So that means, for example, I've done videos that are no longer existing on any hard drive because they've been so embarrassing.
Yeah.
And those are often like a company has seen something and they're so inspired and they've seen this production and they want to create that. They want to create it themselves. That means that they are acting and they think that they are actors and they want to show their feelings and act in some kind of script that they've written.
Yeah.
And this is a really hard part. And I recommend not doing this too often, actually.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to be an actor. I mean, even in Sweden or in the UK or in the US, and when you have an actor and this bad actor, you say, oh, that's a bad actor. And they are professionals.
Yeah.
And 55% of the communication when you communicate with another person is the body language.
Absolutely.
And if the body language isn't in sync with what you really mean, for example, a classic one is, yeah, let's do that. So and it's so important that you have a true emotions that you send out. So what I often say is one small interview that you can do with your mobile phone with one specific person that says something crucial for your business.
Yeah.
And it's really, really honest, can be worth like $1 million movie. It depends on what you say to who and how you do the production.
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, if you want to build up your brand and do it strategically, you want to build up like your heavy, we're going out now, this is our brand, we are big. Then I think you must use the production part from external way.
Okay.
But if you're just trying to communicate this honest, you want to transform this honest saying from one person to another. That's where the heart is, and that's where the key point is, to start to make productions that really, really matters in a smart way. But I think if you turn it around and if you try to act yourself, That's not too good because you won't be. I promise I've done it. Don't do it, please. And on the other hand, if you have a big production company that, I mean, imagine yourself, you are going to be interviewed, and you have like 3-4 big lamps. You have a crew of a camera team running around. You have makeup. You have everything.
Yeah.
And then you just say, okay, action. And you're supposed to deliver.
Yeah.
It's really hard. So
It's really hard.
in that way, it might be easier and better to just do an interview with your mobile phone, because the value is the honesty.
And it's
Well,
more I get you get more transparency as well. I mean, if you're not stressed up and have that, as you said, like a written speech or something that you have to deliver, it's more relaxed. It's easier to be authentic as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So when you see the person, you really believe what he or her said.
Yeah.
And that's the most important, because there's so much videos out there right now. Mm-hmm. And when you're just looking down your Facebook or Insta or whatever, as soon as you see or just have a glimpse that this is commercial, you just swipe by.
Yeah.
You go to the next. And nowadays, the commercial and the true stories, they are so mixed up. But our brain is quite good at selecting what parts are true or not. And even if you don't think about it, you're selecting parts that no, this is fake, this is fake, this is fake. But you really don't know why, actually. But I think that's where we're heading now, and that's the challenge for the companies, and to be able to go on the thin line in between. You have to be honest and true, but you still need to drive your business.
Yeah. So then, to a company thinking of starting this like film production thing, what strategies do you recommend them like to do before they plan out their videos?
Yeah, I think you just need to go back a little bit and taking a little more holistic perspective, and see where are our challenges within the communication, where is the target group, who is it, and how can we reach it. When you go back and just put this together, you can see that our okay, we have internally we have this segment that needs to feel more involved. Okay, that's one part. And then you have the customer service. Okay, they need to tell more clearly about this new product we have, because we have a lot of incoming phone calls that take a lot of time, etc., etc. So just go down and select like tight parts of the challenges, and then just
it's okay.
It's still fine. Yeah, so if you just narrow it down to see that, okay, here's one challenge, and this is the solution of the challenge. And this is a sort of production we can do to meet up to the target group. Then you have a small strategy that is doable. I think the worst thing you can do is try to just start doing videos all over. And say, okay, now we're going crazy about videos, and you start to produce a lot of videos. As my wife said, they had to take away like 2/3 of all the videos that sent in to the last meeting they were at, because it was too much content.
Oh wow!
And that's the reason, because they didn't have a strategy. They didn't have a reason for the video. I mean, the best meeting is the personal meeting. The second is the video. So you should always go back, look at the holistic perspective, and start with small challenges, convert them to video, and and make it sure that they are exactly for that target group that you specified.
Yeah, I get it. So what will you, with these, like, these are a lot of like ideas coming in, but what would you say are the top three advices to companies thinking about starting with video communication? Do you have like a think about this first and then do this and then do this? You said planning is like a really big thing, but
Yeah.
how do you take that down? Where do you start?
Once you have
those several questions, but sorry, yeah.
yeah.
Where do you start?
Once you have the plan, you have an idea of what you want to do.
Yeah.
Then you also need to see the technical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
How do we reach this target group? Where do we put the video?
Yeah.
And then the third thing is how do we produce it?
Yeah.
And I think most people buy or need help of producing. I think that's not really the issue, because producing today is really easy. There's loads of different programs and templates you can use.
Mm-hmm.
The hard thing is to understand how to use it and how to use it strategically, so you can have like a continuous wheel.
Yeah.
So I go back to it's all about planning and set up the strategy. And what company needs to do is they need to take time and spend money on the strategy, because then they can create the future in a much smoother way. I've seen so many companies within trying to help out companies with technical solutions, online video editors, etc. And it works fine for 1, 2, 3 years, but then it falls down because the company doesn't have a clear strategy of who can produce what for who.
Yeah.
For me, it's quite easy. It's the production is not the issue. It's to understand your target group. It's to understand how to get the heart of your target group, and then start to produce small videos. And when you see how it works, you can expand the production a little bit and go to the next area, etc. And to build up slowly, but solid, I'd say.
Yeah. And you talked, like we talked a little bit before the interview here about internal communication and how you can use that. Could you like evolve a little bit on that part, how you could use video in internal communication to actually raise revenues, raise like success in the company? Just plot a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think internal communication had a little bit bad reputation, and I think it comes from before the internal communication was only people that updated the internet. That's it. And then you have the external communication for the marketing and the sales, and those two drove the big business. And it's still at most of the companies, they say that you spend most money on marketing and sales. And yeah, sure, it's okay, but I think not in the future companies, because if you see how you communicate in the internet today with social media and everything, it's not companies that are communicating, it's people, and it's people communications, and people communicate to each other. So you need to get to know your employees. You need to use your employees. You need to boost them. You need to feel. You need to get them to feel proud for your company, so that they automatically speak your thesis and drives your business for you. That means you need to adapt and start to communicate directly to your staff in a more efficient way. And I think most of the companies doesn't see the value of building up a strong we feeling amongst the employees.
Yeah.
Because that's it's so hard now to get the best people,
Yeah.
to get them deliver with joy and just not sit on the job. But if you can manage to do just those two, I mean, you can increase your business by 50%.
That's awesome. But you mean just by doing that, you increase. So in what ways does that increase the revenue? Could you just like name a few examples of how that works?
For example, this consultancy agencies in Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
it costs approximately $100,000 to recruit one person. So, and it means these consultants, they're sitting out on the other big companies, and they can be out for 3 years.
Yeah.
And the main thing for one person is just to feel that they belong to the consultant agency and not move away. If
Yeah.
they move away to the company that they are sitting, and
Yeah.
all the friends around you are working on that company,
Yeah.
if you move away, it will cost you $100,000 just that transformation.
Yeah.
That's just one case, one person.
Yeah.
So, and if you just start to look at yourself, how you work at your job, if you feel satisfied, you feel happy when you wake up on Monday morning, you just feel like, wow, I'm gonna go to work, so great, so fun. You know what you can produce when you just feel that. And when you meet someone, if you're in the sales, when you meet someone and have that feeling, I mean, nothing can stop you. But if you go to a meeting and just feels like, yeah, another day at work, okay, what do you want to buy today? Chocolate? Okay, we don't have it, sorry. No, you get it. So for the future company, it's so important. And just take a look at iSettle, Google, all the people. They are spending so much money on the employees because they know they need to have the best employees. They need to have them with a great feeling of being in the company. The whole culture is so much more important than it was for 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Would you say that there is a new way to work with that internal communication now than it was 10 years ago? You talked about yesterday, like 10 years ago was just someone doing the updates on the website, but is there a transition in the marketplace with like the knowledge that we have to do something, or are people still like obliviate to, okay, we need to step up our game? Is this something totally new to people?
No, I don't think it's new, but for example, I work a lot with SAS,
Mm-hmm.
aviation companies, and they just built up, changed their whole strategy around communication within the company.
Okay.
So they moved in. Before it was like, I mean, sales, customer service, etc., 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 and then communication in the end. But they moved in communication as a central part in the whole company. So all communication goes from, even if it's from marketing or from the CEO or whatever, it comes into the communication, and then they send out the communication to the target groups.
Okay.
And it's not that complicated, but you need to have control of the company in the future. You need to centralize the communication as a central part of the company, and you need to absorb all the information that needs to go out in the hub and then send it out. And when you send it out, you need to adapt it to each target group so they get the feeling for the communication. For example, if you have a new commercial going out, the best thing is to just one day ahead to inform all the employees tomorrow we have a new commercial going out. It explains why there, and from the employee's point of view. So when they speak about this commercial, they don't speak about it from an external view. They speak about it from the internal view. That means they have more knowledge about the story behind it, because that builds the brand, and that strengthens the whole communications from the company. So I think it's not a big thing, actually. It's just that you need to move your thoughts, and you have to have much bigger respect for the communication. Mm-hmm. That I think is the big transformation that many companies need to do. And I think many leaders are afraid of communication, because it can happen quite a lot when people start to hire their voice. But it's really important to be proactive. So you need to start to lift up the employee's voice and proactive work with it, and integrate your strategy within the answer. Then you have a moving company, and then you move down the whole knowledge of where you want to go to the employees, and establish that in their feelings.
Awesome. Lots of knowledge.
You get it.
Awesome, Christian. So we're nearing the end of this first part interview. Is there anything, Christian, that you would like to share with people? What are you going to talk about in the second session? And is there any life transcending value that you would like to share to the free attendees before they leave you with a happy smile?
Yeah, no, we're going to go through it more, specifically how you can build up the strategy and the keys to make it successful in the other part. But what I want to leave now is just to go, you need to go out and have fun and do more videos. And just go out and be creative and make sure you have fun, and then connect the fun to the business. And look in small parts. How can you reach that target group, and aim, have fun, and just go bananas? Awesome. That would be great.
Well, thank you very much, Christian Bagge. We absolutely appreciate the value you've been sharing with us today. And for those of you that would like to know more about Christian's topic and all the things surrounding internal communication and video communication in general, and also a whole range of other extremely profitable and valuable tips regarding this and other topics as well, I have something awesome to share. This is actually the fact that below this video, you will find a button where you can purchase the All Access Pass to get a lifetime access to all the amazing lectures that from all these people speaking during the summit. And you will also be getting extra interviews that I've recorded with each and every speaker on this summit, where they'll teach you advanced ins and outs on the trades that they are experts in, plus a lot of more information and stacked bundles of information materials and tools that you'll find in the VIP area. The value of those videos is absolutely out of this world, and I don't want you to miss out on it. So make sure to click the button on this page to read more about the All Access Pass and purchase yours today. So Christian, thank you so much for being part of the Successful Marketing Summit.
Thank you.
Really appreciated it.
Thank you.
Thank you.